So the guy I'm seeing and I will exchange movies and TV shows so we can watch new stuff. And recently, I showed him the first episode of 30 Rock, and he showed me the first episode of The Ranch. Just good chance to rewatch some stuff. Anyways, the first episode of 30 Rock is, wow, it's so weird to see because I know that show very well. It's so weird to see all the characters at their very beginning, even though their tropes are still there. And it's funny because, honestly, even from the get-go, I think you're supposed to see Jack Donaghy as this corporate shark who doesn't get creative people, who's just going to ruin the show. But the thing is, he's shown to be right and a decent person. He's very generous with the staff from the get-go, and it's really more Liz's bitter hang-ups and unwillingness to change. And understandable if you're in showbiz and the creative types who don't really want to go towards the business route, but this balance, but it is really cool to see Jack's character. He does pull these power plays, but he does make the show legitimately better. He does show an understanding of the audience. Not to mention, Alec Baldwin's acting chops are fantastic in that show. I think I read in Tina Fey's memoir that she's not proud of the pilot, even though it is a very good pilot. Clearly has references to older classic television, like That Girl, Mary Tyler Moore Show, etc. It definitely I love seeing all these funny showbiz archetypes. Like I know people like Jenna Maroney, this attention whore. I know people like Tracy Jordan, the off the rails, a truth bomb dropping comedian actor. People like that stressed out writer's room, which is oh, that's relevant. I'm seeing that more with the animation circuit, so I feel like in my situation it'd be stressed out artists. that was interesting. Anyway, and then meanwhile, The Ranch, it's an original show on Netflix. It's essentially the life of this small farming family, and it's very interesting because you don't really see stuff like that too much. You'll see a lot of New York City shows, you'll see a lot of city shows, you'll see a lot of Anytown America shows, but stuff that's very specific to the South and the farming areas. Though supposedly I think the show takes place in Colorado, but still, the farming shows, you don't really see that as much anymore. Stories about farmers and farming, that seems to be more of a thing in the early 20th century, at least based on what I've read. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, that's a good example. Dorothy starts off in this farm life, and as did Frank Baum. But it's also, they have a major Western star in that, Sam Elliott, who, by the way, every word he says has such a weight to it. And he's saying to, I believe it's his son, who's played by Ashton Kutcher, that he says something along the lines that he could kick his ass, and I thought, I believe that Sam Elliott could kick this guy's ass. I believe he could kick all our asses. I'd actually really like to see a Sam Elliott movie at some point, because he feels like this very old conservative in his ways, but kind of understanding of he's from a different time and place, but he's from a time and place where his mentality worked, and he does have a point. His son did drink away his opportunities. So I think I'm at the point where I'm starting to see more, okay, I see where the older characters are coming from. But I think it is cool to see when it's not one, usually with conflicts, there's usually a direction that the point of view is saying is more correct, and it's usually siding with the new generation. That's going to be more right, that's go this new direction. But I like showing that there is some value to tradition, even though there's some things that need to be changed and done away with, but there are some things you really should keep. What do you keep? What values do you keep? What values do you add? So I think that I get that out of this show. Plus, it's interesting to see because it's a network-esque show. It's on Netflix, but this show could have been on a CBS or an NBC. It's not raunchy. They don't drop any swears. It's all, but you still don't see that particular demographic represented on TV that much. You don't really see the farm life. At least not now. At least there's so much out there, and maybe other people do, but I personally don't. I'm not as exposed to it, even though I grew up around farms. Not really that lifestyle, not particularly that Southern culture or Midwestern culture, but still fascinating. Also, they make a ton of jokes about how Ashton Kutcher's character wears Ugg boots. They're saying they're chick boots. So you're getting that this is a macho area. The Uggs, they get such a bad rep. They are a basic girl shoe, but I feel like they'd make really good slippers. They look comfortable. Anyways, always good to see new stuff. So the ranch I like the acting. It does feel longer. I think it is longer than your typical sitcom. I don't find it particularly funny, though the pacing's good. But I am genuinely into the drama of it. And then, of course, 30 Rock which is contrast, joke a minute, pop culture reference, clearly has an intelligence, clearly understands the kind of people it's making fun of, clearly understands the classic era of television and has a love for it. And even if you don't get the pop culture references, you still find it funny because the characters are very strong. Oh, so it's a good one to study. It's apparently that show did not pull in the ratings, even though it was beloved by critics and hipsters. Tina Fey's words, not mine. That's a very good show to check out. If you really good comedy, that. And if you're interested in different demographics, check out The Ranch.